Right, people, I think we're live. A little late today. Sorry, I had my son visiting and we only just got him off on the trip back to Auckland. So sometimes family life intrudes, I'm sure you understand. So today, welcome. If you're going to be able to join live, even though I'm a little bit late getting started. And you may be watching us on a replay because this will be on my blog and also on YouTube, so there'll be a chance to watch it there. This is another one of my Blast from the Past series that I'm doing to help me use up my vintage papers. I'm Carol Ann Torrey. I'm the Queen of Scraps, an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Cambridge, New Zealand. And welcome if you're able to join. And I'd love to hear from you wherever you are in the world, especially if you are able to make one of these, make something with this particular DSP. So this one is a super old one, 2010 again, and it was called Love Letter. So I thought, seeing as we're in the week for Valentine's, this would be a fun one to do. And when I decided on this pattern, I made a whole batch of them, and I've just about used up all the paper I had remaining. So this was a design that was inspired by Lynn at Stamtastic, whoopsie, and having the little borders. I've used some old punches and I've used some current dies for doing the little borders, and I've done some stamping in some of them, and hope that's a little bit of inspiration for you. So those are the ones I've finished, and because I got on a bit of a roll, I made some more which just need the sentiments, and you can see I had a bit of fun here. So I even used ribbon on one of these, didn't I? I think I used ribbon on one of them. That one I just used a strip of paper. Maybe I haven't got a ribbon one. Yes, there we go. So this is one I popped some ribbon on it as well. So there's lots of different ways of dressing up that border between the two different papers. And in some of them, I've used a different paper again from the main one and the reverse side. That's obviously the reverse side of that one. And it's great if you want to be able to see both sides of your paper as well. So I've put some of these aside, and I'm going to show you how we created it. And it's super simple because we just need a piece of cardstock, which is the same size as a card front. So this isn't folded because we're going to put a fun fold with the DSP on top of that. So this one, we've cut this, there will be a PDF and all the instructions and sizes will be on that, but this is 14.8 by 10.5. And I didn't say about the paper. So this is the only sheet I've got left. I've got a partial sheet left of this one. And it was a very simple colourway with the very vanilla as the neutral, and Riding Hood red, and black, I think, were the current colour, were the main colours. Riding Hood red's been retired a very long time, but I was lucky enough to have a bit of DSP left over, and some cardstock left over as well. And I've also got here a little marker, so I'm going to show you how I use the marker. So I don't actually have an ink pad, but I do have a marker. So let's see what we can do with this. So I've just got my DSP, and this is a full size, it's part of a full size sheet of 12 by 12, which is, as we all know, 12 by 12 is the same as 30.5. Okay, so I do need to trim this just a little bit. Did I do that? No, I didn't. That's right. Okay, I modified my plans here. So our DSP, we're going to leave it the full depth, 30.5. And if you've got I've got a paper that doesn't have any directional stuff on it, but if you had something that was directional, you would need to have it with the direction running this way. This would be the top here. But of course, no, that's fine. It's perfect. Don't listen to me. I'm just having a little momentary qualm. So I'm going to cut this one at 7.5. 7.5 is here, and we're just going to cut down full length at 7.5. And if you're familiar with your maths, 7.5 and 7.5 is going to make 15, and so and two of those is going to make 30. So you are going to get 4 out of one full piece of DSP with a little strip left over. So here's our piece. It's 7.5 by 30.5, and we're going to have this in landscape, and we're actually going to cut off 3 centimetres. I'm actually going to cut it off on this side here. We can cut it off on either side of the cutting track, and so I'm just going to cut that 3 centimetres off there, and then I'm going to score it at 2.5, which is right there. Make sure that you're using the scoring blade now, which is the lighter coloured one. So that's at 2.5, and then we're going to also score it at 14.8. 14.8. Give that a good score too, but not too much because it is only paper. I'm going to fold and burnish this, and you can decide at this point which way round you want it to be. That's here. Couldn't actually quite feel where that was. You can decide whether you want the dots to be on the front, or you want the other side, which is the squares, or sort of like a graph paper really. So I'm going to do this way, and you're basically going to have I'm having trouble with that. It didn't quite score it enough. Here we go. I'll turn it back the other way now. I've got it started. Just make sure as you're scoring it, it all lines up nicely. Right, 30.5, 14.8, that's right, fold and burnish. So there's going to be a valley, and then there's a mountain fold. And we are going to just stick this little turn up down here. It's a bit hard to see with these spotty dots. Oh, and we definitely don't need that amount. Okay. It's been a bit hot in the studio today, and I think it's got a little bit carried away with itself here. You know, sometimes if I get too much squirted out, I use a little piece of cardstock to spread it out a little bit, because I think it's going to ooze out otherwise. And you can actually take some off and use it for another project if you like as well. That's another option, but I'm going to get rid of that, otherwise I'm going to make a sticky mess. Okay, so I'm just sticking that down on top of itself. And now we're going to take the card base, and with the card base and the portrait, we're just going to adhere this whole piece down to here, and we're just going to adhere it so the fold is right at the top, and there's an equal amount on either side. Okay, and then we're going to take the little piece that we cut off, and I'm going to just stick it down there so it follows along. The edges follow along in a straight line with the underside bit. So it just gives that contrast, another contrast, and ties in with the front of the card. So you can see it's all pretty simple so far. We are going to add a little mat onto here, and we've pretty much completed the card. It really is that simple. is once we've got the little mat in there, I'm just going to cut the mat, but I'm going to also show you, just if you want to see how I've used my my markers, because that's the only ink I've got in the Riding Hood Red. And I'm going to do a little stamped piece for this. So give me one moment. So I put my stamps. I've got a couple of stamps. I'm going to be doing a little stamped front, and I am using this beautiful Softly Sophisticated set, which is one of the Celebration freebies, and it comes with a beautiful embossing folder, which you'll have seen in some of my other recent work. And I'm going to use this with the words, and I'm going to use, instead of, I use this one here to do this one over here, but I'm going to use the other one for this card. So let's just cut that mat first, because I haven't got that done, and the piece of mat should have been 11.8. Just cut that across there by 7.5. So we're making it the same width as the fun flap. Oops, this is not. Oh, sorry, I realise I'm doing this off camera. I know you can just see what I'm doing. Okay, sometimes I get a bit carried away with myself, as I think you know. It's so easy to do. So I'm just going to stick that in place. So we've got somewhere to write your greeting, and you can, of course, you can also do other stamping in here, as I have on some of mine. Just make sure everything's lining up nicely. Great. And I am going to cut a little die using beautiful die set. Right, we might still be there. Just noticed that it said low battery. Hopefully you're still going to be able to follow along with me. Apologies if we're going to run out of juice. It's been one of those sort of days, really. Okay, so I'm going to just use this die to cut out a shape that I want to do some stamping on with my phrase. And I often, when I'm running something like this through, I will put a few other little things on here, so you get a few other die options for other cards, so you're not always constantly having to come back to your die cutting machine. Okay, but I think we're planning to use this one for now. I'll pop that one there, pops out of the way. And I'm going to use these, and I probably should stamp, I think I'm going to stamp the phrase first. I haven't used the I really appreciate you, and that is rather lovely. So why don't we try that? I'm going to stamp this one in black. Here we go. I often, actually there's various ways of lining these up, but sometimes I like actually line these up on my grid paper here, and then I line this up here, and then should be, if I keep everything square on my graph paper, I should get it. And actually I haven't used this, so this is just a little tip. Some people like to always use Versamark as the first thing when they're using a stamp for a first time, and that is a good idea. It helps condition the stamp. I often just give it a little rub up on my, get a bit of my DNA in there, share it. I'm going to share it with you. I really appreciate you. Okay, so I'm just going to stamp this down here. So if I keep this straight and I keep my block straight with the grid paper, I should be able to get that all nicely stamped in there. Very good. I really appreciate you. I should really be doing this on a mat. And I think if I'm just going to pop this so it's coming up on a bit of an angle like that. We might do a little embellishment. I might have a little butterfly or something else I can pop in there. So I'm just going to use my I would use it if I could see it. I'm really wanting my grey, but it doesn't seem to be here. So I might just use a different grey because it's going to work. We've got the smoky slate. And no, here's my basic grey. It's hiding underneath my Versamark. So I'm going to use the basic grey. Again, I haven't used this stamp before. Oh, maybe I have, because I have used the little one. It looks unstained, so we'll just give it a little tap on here. So I'm just going to grey for this one. And I'm just going to put it on a little angle here. Okay, and you can see this is a two-step, what they call a two-step stamp. So it's designed, you can see there's some little gaps there that are designed to for our little flowers to just pop into. And I'm just going to have to work out which way round it's meant to be going. Oh my goodness, I have used this. I'm pretty sure it's just going like this. Is that right? Yes, I'm pretty sure that's how we're going to do it. But, as I say, I don't have the ink, but I'm going to use my, I've got my marker, my Riding Hood red marker, and I'm just going to use the side of the brush end to add some colour onto. Now you could blend in some other colours if you want to, but I'm keeping this pretty simple. So I'm just making sure all the little floral bits have got ink on them. I'm just going to huff on it and get the moisture from my breath to make sure that it doesn't dry out while we're getting things in position. And I'm going to try and not get my head in the way here, people, but sometimes it's a little tricky. Let's just pop that down there. I think I got that a little bit off because, you know, I was trying to keep my hair out of your view, but let's see. Oh, I think that looks fine. So it's a tiny bit off, but that's actually fine. I really appreciate you. So I'm just going to pop this onto the front of my card. I'm going to come down here. I've actually got something that I've just been playing around with. And I think I'm going to use it on here. It was... some stickers. These are some stickers that came with another set that I had. It's so old I can't even find out what it's called. But this is actually a pretty little set of borders, and there were also some stickers. They do have some other colours in them, as well as the pink and the green and the brown, but it also has this Riding Hood red. So I'm going to use one of these Riding Hood red borders here to do the little border here rather than doing a die cut or something like that. And I'm just going to actually use my trimmer to trim it to size. I'm popping it in here with it is adhesive, but I'm just going to stick it like that. And I find with something like this, if you start down here and go up here, you can mesh those points, which we don't want to do. So I will usually start near the top, or really in the middle actually, and just push down, and then we can, let's just pop that onto there, I think. Here we go. And that's going to go on there with some dimensionals. And yep, our card's going to be pretty much finished. So this is another simple one, but it's an effective way of using both sides of your DSP. And I'm going to put a little bit of embellishment on there. Might pop this up with some dimensionals. It always looks nice. So, love letter, love letter. I better get this finished before I run out of battery, seeing as I'm having a bit of a problem with that, clearly. Right, let's pop this down here. I might pop it up a little more. There we go. I really appreciate you. And I'm just going to find a little embellishment that'll go with that. So, you know, I don't have any Riding Hood red embellishments. But you can see on some of these ones I've completed. I've used some little black embellishments, which obviously never go out of style. I think these are the classic matte dots I use. You could use pearls, obviously. They'd look very nice with that. What else have we got that we could use? I'm actually looking and seeing. I know I do have in my really random little pile here, I've got some little brass butterflies. I'm pretty sure the brass butterflies are not available now. I'm not actually 100% sure. I know we do have some gorgeous online exclusive ones that are, here we go. This has got some random things that have popped off their sheets, but we do have a little butterfly there. I'm just going to pop them in there, and that'll just finish off that little card. Okay, so that's it. That's my blast from the past, and this is February. Oh, February the 11th. So next week we will do another blast from the past, and I'm going to do another fun fold. So I haven't decided quite which DSP I'm going to use yet, but it will be, I'll be letting you know soon. Okay, hope you can join me then. Bye.